disorienting, tunnels are liminal between spaces. Tunnels are distinctive, adjacent environments that exist on the fringes of reality. Entering this domain requires humble surrender, as the tunnel always contains eerie unknowns. What is the length? Is it narrow? Can the infrastructure be trusted? But it's important to note that a tunnel is not a cave. Unlike grottos, endless underground chambers with a singular entrance, tunnels function as a transitory space for movement and departure. Interpretation. When this card appears, consider your location within the allegorical tunnel. Perhaps you're approaching the entrance. Recognizing that in order to reach your desired destination, you'll need to move through this unknown domain. Sure, you may have some expectations as to what you might encounter during this passage, but the truth is that you won't actually know until you've begun your journey. Or maybe this card mirrors your current odyssey. There's no doubt that the center of the tunnel can be profoundly destabilizing. With neither entrance nor exit visible, it may feel as though the trip has become a trap. At this phase, you may begin to wonder whether you should turn around. If this is your current state, honor yourself with boundless compassion. It may not be easy, but your profound bravery invites you to keep going. Eventually, a tiny spark of light will appear in the abyss, growing larger and larger and brighter and brighter. As you push onward, and maybe this card appears to celebrate your achievement. You did it. You made it. You reached the other side, free at last. Okay, that was the first card, Tunnels. Now, here's the second card. We've got Mercury, but it came up in reverse. So let's look it up and see what it says. Bear with me as I look this up. Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun and the smallest of the rocky planets in the asteroid belt. Mercury whips around the Sun, completing an orbit in only 88 days. Only 88 days. Oh, okay, like a year on Earth takes 365 and a year on Mercury takes 88 days. Okay, I got it. Okay. And from our perspective on Earth, the planet appears to move backward 3 or 4 times each year, creating an optical illusion known as Mercury retrograde. Although all planets, including the luminaries, the Sun and Moon, have retrograde orbits, Mercury is certainly most notorious. In classical antiquity, Roman Mercury was the divine messenger representing merchants, travelers, transporters, and even thieves. His lore was derived from the Greek deity Hermes. Likewise, Mercury is also associated with communication, expression, language, and matters of the mind. So it should be no surprise that problems arise when things go backwards. Alright, in from our articulation. So the presence of Mercury invites you to focus exclusively on the transmission. Are you really saying what you mean? Is there a disconnect between what you want and what you're expressing? Perhaps you've been indirect, battling your intentions with fillers, like niceties, question words, or qualifications. If so, Mercury's presence urges you to be more straightforward, be clear, honest, and matter of fact. So, when it comes upside down, reverse, it means more like having to do with yourself and your relationship with yourself. So, are you being straightforward with yourself, or are you lying to yourself? I think is what this card is trying to say. Instead of lying or not being straightforward outwardly, I think it means that you might be maybe not lying to, but in denial about something inwardly, and this card urges you to take a look at that. Alright, so now we have delays, and it is also in reverse. Bear with me as I find this one as well. Whether you're stuck at the airport waiting for a stalled flight, desperately refreshing your email, anticipating an important message, or dealing with the fallout of an event that continues to get rescheduled, postponements can be deeply unsettling. Often, delays are the byproduct of external factors that transcend the situation itself. Circumstances like weather, traffic, supplies, budgets, as well as timing, and of course, luck. Delays are often reflected in astrology through retrogrades, which would go with the Mercury card. The consistent optical illusion that makes a planet appear to travel in reverse. But when we consider that retrogrades are a regular expression of planetary orbits, we understand that routine delays are a part of life. They're inevitable. Further, within the metaphysical realm, where there are no coincidences, we can deepen our spiritual understanding of postponements to celebrate the unexpected opportunities that emerge from eruption, deviations, and standstills. Okay. Since this one came up in reverse, I would expect more delays than usual in the coming weeks. And that's just my 2 cents. Alright, interpretation. The delay card often invokes an eye roll. We organize our lives around forward motion, making plans and setting goals to signal process and growth. So naturally, digressions that throw you off course, whether those obstacles originate externally or internally, can feel like complications, setbacks, or even failures. But delays offer a unique perspective that would be otherwise inaccessible. In the absence of forward motion, you are invited to cultivate an even richer connection with intention. The delay card encourages you to align with your true wants, needs, and expectations. Indeed, while this card may reflect a postponement you're already navigating, it may also appear when you need to slow down, catch your breath, and press pause. Delays demand that we shift out of autopilot and redirect our focus to our immediate circumstances. Although it is not always easy to see in the moment, the truth is that even the most frustrating delays are imbued with their own unique magic. All you need to do is shift your perspective. All right. Now we have animals also in reverse. 1 second, I need to crack my neck. Wow. Alright. Bear with me again as I find this. Alright, animals. One of the greatest human fallacies is forgetting that we are animals. Like the deer that devours suburban landscapes, or the mice that sprint across the edges of kitchen cabinets, or the coyotes that howl widely into the night's treacherous landscapes. Humans are simply another species within the animal kingdom. Accordingly, when we speak to the overarching symbol of animals, the millions of creatures that cohabitate on this lush, fertile planet, we're invited to contemplate the premise of wildness, what we suppress, what we relish, and what we cannot contain. Alright, interpretation. When the animal card emerges, give yourself permission to connect with your inner animal. Consider that despite the tremendous processing power of the human brain, your own animal behavior fuels your decision making and subsequently your experiences. Are you operating in survival mode, showcasing the fight of a fierce lion, the flight of a high-speed gazelle, the freeze of a nervous rabbit, or the fawn of a playful labradoodle, cleverly rolling over on its back for belly rubs to divert attention from the chewed-up sneaker on the other side of the room? Likewise, the animal card invites you to reconnect with your own wild instincts. Allow yourself to simply be, releasing the expectation of achievement or progress or perfectionism. Let the animal card illuminate a connection to your own beautiful animal soul. Exploring the interplay between feral instincts and domesticated desires. How do these qualities show up in your day-to-day life? Look for wisdom in the incredible acrobats of your local street cat, the raw power of a hungry black bear, or the gentle caresses of a mother cow tending to its young. You are nature, baby. Embrace your wild. So, since this came up in reverse, I would obviously soak in all of this information, but I would also check to see if you're being too animalistic. Yeah, just kind of check to see if you're being too brute, too animalistic. Alright, and let's do one more, okay? Whew. Let's see. Crossroads. Alright, 31. Crossroads. You've reached an intersection, a junction, a fork in the road, one of the most symbolic and allegorical spaces. The crossroads doesn't just represent options, it signifies choice. Indeed, the crossroads is the space where we need to exercise direction. The straightforward path no longer exists, and thus requires strategy, consideration, and contemplation to ensure that the road we're selecting will take us to where we want to go. Folklore describes crossroads as a space between worlds where supernatural experiences and otherworldly rituals take place. In classic antiquity, the goddess Hecate was associated with crossroads, along with Hermes, the god of commerce. But this is also where malevolent forces would take advantage of weary travelers. It's believed that deals with the devil take place at crossroads, highlighting the anxiety and desperation associated with this impasse. This is a high-stakes situation. It's here, at the crossroads, that actions have consequences and we become responsible for realizing our destiny. It is here that we come face to face with the power and the insurmountable pressure of free will. Alright, interpretation. Interpretation. I'm going to move this. Okay. The crossroads card emerges when it's time to decide. The crossroads signify a turning point in your narrative, so perhaps the appearance of this card reflects a necessary change. You've been presented with multiple options, and now you need to choose which route is the best. In which direction will you go? Unsure of where each road leads, this selection may feel overwhelming, but that's to be expected at this junction. At this intersection, you may not have all the information, so you will need to rely on whatever resources you have available to help illuminate the path ahead. Likewise, don't be afraid to ask others, especially close companions, for advice, ideas, and recommendations. But at the end of the day, remember that this decision is yours and yours alone. There are no shortcuts or detours or alternate routes. Lace up your sneakers and continue the course. You are ready.